Warren Buffett is sitting on $150 billion. Why? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Oscar, and today we're going to be talking about Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, and the $150 billion that they're currently sitting on. A couple of hours ago, Yahoo Finance put out an article that says Buffett's cash pile tops record with $149.2 billion on hand. I want to dive into that article. I want to read and go over that article. We'll go over it here in just a minute, but I kind of want to talk about what that means and what I think about it. Thing is, I'm not a professional investor, and anything that I say on this channel or anything that I say in terms of my investing videos is my own opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, and so you should be doing your own research no matter what. But it is a bit concerning. We're talking about an individual who loves to buy stocks at a discount. I mean, anybody that is a smart investor wants to buy at a discount so that their stock prices raise and rise and they make money in that way. The fact that he's sitting at a record high of $150 billion almost is a bit concerning for me, because that means that he's just not seeing the type of stock prices that he wants to see, which makes me wonder, is there a crash coming, or is there a correction coming? Or is he being naive? That's weird to say about Warren Buffett, arguably one of the greatest investors, not arguably, one of the greatest investors to ever walk this earth, but arguably the best investor to ever walk this earth. And the question is, if you're sitting on 150 billion, he's just holding on to the cash, and we're seeing nothing but basically green is what we've seen for the past, 12 years now, since 2008. So 12, 13 years, and we haven't had a super major correction other than COVID hitting, but that was more of a like the world just stopped rather than there being a correction, in my opinion. It makes me wonder, is he waiting for something? Does he know something that other people don't know? Or is it just simply he's like, hey, I just think the prices are too high? It then also makes me wonder, like, should I be putting my money into individual stocks? Should I be putting my money more into real estate? Should I be holding on to cash myself? Or should I just be putting my money into like index funds or ETFs or mutual funds so that I don't have to necessarily worry about major corrections and things like that? I mean, obviously we're gonna have a correction at some point between now and the time that we all die, but it is a bit concerning, it is worrisome. And I mean, I guess the other option is he just has so much money, they're making so much money, he doesn't know what to do with it. That could also be an option. I mean, $150 billion, that's a number, I can't even imagine $1 billion. So to have 150 of that is just mind-numbing to me. I don't know, let me know what you think. Does this concern you? Does this make you invest any differently, or do you just automatically invest? Like I've seen, or like I've showed you guys in other videos, I automatically invest into Fundrise, and eventually here soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll be auto investing into my Robinhood account, so we'll start having those updates as well, which is super exciting. And then I'll start showing you guys auto updates into my Coinbase, because that's going to be super exciting for me as well. And so I have all these different nuanced things that I'm working on, and then obviously as my wife and I go out and bring in physical real estate, I'll be taking you guys on that journey. And then at the end of the video, I want to talk to you guys about something that's really important to me, really near and dear to my heart. And I just want to know if it's something that you guys would like to experience with me as I go on that journey, but more on that later on. Let's jump into the article. So like I said, Buffett's cash pile tops record with $149.2 billion on hand. That is just mind-numbing to me. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated now has a record amount of money to put to work. Berkshire's cash pile hit new heights at $149.2 billion of funds in the third quarter, surpassing a record set in early 2020. That is actually pretty cool. It means that they're probably doing relatively well as a business if they're setting a completely new record. I guess the question is, it depends on how they're getting that $149.2 billion. So that could be really good, that could be really bad, who knows? The company said in its earnings report Saturday, the fresh high came even as Buffett poured more money into buying back its own stock, with $7.6 billion of repurchases in the period, the third highest tally since the board changed its policy on buybacks in 2018. Buffett has struggled with high-class problem with a high-class problem of having too much money in Berkshire's pockets and not enough chances to put that to work in higher returning assets. So that's very concerning to me. It just says that in my mind, he just thinks that the prices of stocks are just not at a favorable place. Even though there are some stocks that are undervalued, I guess he just doesn't think those companies, for instance, AT&T. I know that their stock has been basically dramatically dropping due to some business decisions that they've made in the past, I think, month or two. And they're merging, and I can't remember who they're merging with exactly, but there's going to be some kind of merger happening in 2022. So I assume that stock is going to be coming back up in the next 6 months to a year, but he's not investing in that or hasn't invested in that. I'm just curious to know, that for me is a very discounted stock. And AT&T, from what I understand, from what I've read, and from what I've studied, I assume that it's a really good company to be invested in. But maybe not. Who knows? But that's just really concerning to me. He just thinks that he's holding on to a lot of money because he doesn't think that there's some discounted stocks out there, really good discounted stocks, which, I don't know. I guess if you're playing with, $100 like I am, it's a little different than 150 billion. With no major deals in recent quarters, Berkshire's chief executive officer has frequently turned to buybacks as one way to deploy the cash deluge. But even the heightened level of buybacks during the third quarter wasn't enough to keep Berkshire's coffers from swelling. The sprawling conglomerate has benefited as many of its vast array of businesses bounced back from the initial throes of the pandemic, which helped to boost operating profit 18% in the third quarter. Berkshire's railroad generated record earnings even as the industry grappled with supply chain pressures, while the company's energy businesses posted their highest profit in data going back to mid-2009. Okay, so operating profit was 18% in the third quarter. Their railroad generated record earnings, which is also, awesome. I don't know what companies they're invested in the railroad industry, but they're apparently doing well. Especially with everything that's going on with just supply chain issues between. I'm assuming most of it's coming from China and everything that's going on with them and them being backed up and not having people working. Even here in the U.S., just everyone's hiring right now. So it's really interesting how this is working. The fact that their operating profit was 18% is really good, or boosted 18%. Buffett's company was helped by strong consumer demand for products, but warned in its report that several of our businesses experienced higher materials, freight, and other input costs attributable to ongoing disruptions in global supply chains. So, like I said, lack of workers, the issues with China, and the shipping problems, and then I guess there's other problems that I'm unaware of. But we're seeing prices rise and everything, and then we also know that inflation is on its way. We're going to start seeing that over the next couple of years, I'm assuming. Its collection of manufacturing, servicing, and retailing operations posted the third highest level of profit and data going back to the middle of 2009, an increase of 15% compared to the year ago period. That's good. That strength helped compensate for a weak quarter for Berkshire's insurers. The underwriting loss at that group of businesses widened to $784 million during the third quarter, with all three of its major insurance groups reporting losses in underwriting. Catastrophe losses, including the sting of Hurricane Ida, totaled $1.7 billion after taxes during the period. Geico, meanwhile, is feeling the pressure as more drivers hit the road, leading to an increased frequency of claims. The severity of claims is also rising just as used car prices tick up. Berkshire's net income fell 66% to $10.3 billion during the third quarter compared to the same period a year earlier, according to the company's statement. That figure includes swings in the conglomerate's nearly $311 billion stock portfolio. The business's Class A shares were down just slightly at 1.7% decrease during those 3 months ended September 30th. Wait a second. So Berkshire's total income fell by 66% over the past, year when compared last year's third quarter to this year's third quarter. But there are certain industries within their portfolio that did really well, which helped with the massive income loss. I'm assuming is what I'm saying. And they're still, even with that happening, they're sitting on a record $150 billion. I'm not entirely sure what this means. I don't think it's good or bad. I think it's somewhere in the middle of like, it can be good, it can be bad. It just kind of depends on the next really few months and couple of years as we enter into inflation and a possible correction within the market. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really interested in what your thoughts are. Leave a comment down below. Is this something that you think is really, really good? Is this something that you think is really, really bad? Does it concern you in terms of your portfolio? Or are you sitting on a lot of cash and waiting for a fire sale? I'm neither here nor there. I'm just really interested in it, and hopefully investors all around get to profit from this in the long term. But it is interesting to see such a strong company sit on such a massive amount of money. I guess just waiting for the right opportunity to deploy that cash and get it working for them. So I told you guys at the end of the video that I wanted to talk about something that was near and dear to my heart. And so let's get into that really quickly. I played sports from the time I was 5 competitively until I was about 22. And I really let myself go after that with not having to work out, no longer being sore, other things taking priority. I really let myself go. And within the past really month or two, I've started working out again pretty religiously. And I wanted to know if that is something you guys want to see. If you want me to make videos of me going to the gym and things like that. The reason I'm asking is because I don't want my channel to strictly be just finance, personal finance, investing, business, things of that nature. I think health is wealth, and I think your health plays a huge part in the type of wealth that you build. And it also helps with longevity, you know. And over the past really 2 years, with COVID and the way that it has affected people, and just really over the past couple of months experiencing quite a bit of death in my life personally with people that I knew, I have refocused myself on my nutrition. I've been eating really clean for probably about a week now. My diet changed really 2 months ago. It started getting cleaner, and now it's like super clean. Like I said, I've been consistent in the gym, and I just want to know if that's something you guys are interested in. I also have an apparel company that currently just does lifestyle stuff, but I want to tie my health into that and maybe tie working out into that. But I don't want to bring that to the channel if that's something you're not completely interested in. I am when it comes to like nutrition, I am very much at a base level. When it comes to working out, I would say I'm probably at like an intermediate level. I'm not an expert in any of these things, but they're things that are super interesting to me. And so if that's something you want to see, something you think would be interesting, and or you're on your own fitness journey and you need someone to help keep you, I guess, accountable and maybe even motivated a little bit, let me know in the comment section below, because that is an aspect of my life that I really do enjoy. It is an outlet for me, and it is incredibly important to me. And if you want to see that on the channel, I'll bring it to the channel. If not, no harm, no foul. I'll keep it away from the channel. So my name is Oscar. Thank you for watching. Like I said, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.